So it's been a couple of days and the tables has settled in a little bit, and now it's time for us to go ahead and get them leveled and secured so that we can get all of these modulars out of the boxes. It is time. All right, we have our trusty level right here. And this table we're going to be using as the basis for getting all of the rest of the tables leveled out and at the right height that we need to have them at. And the reason to this is this table right here is actually really leveled. And if we take this over here to this side as well, because we're checking to make sure that all of the sides are leveled, it is leveled as well. So this one's going to be really cool to have for our basis for the rest of the tables. Now, what did we get? We actually got these. They're just like some furniture protect things off of Amazon. They were kind of cheap, but what they are is almost an extension. Like, let's say your leg is a little shorter, you just rip the sticky part off of this side, put that onto your leg, and then this is a little bit of non-slip. But what we wanted is something that was going to be dual purpose. So number one, we're going to use these to level the tables. We don't know if we're going to be putting them on the bottom of the calyx or we're going to be putting them in between where the top meets the calyx. The other thing that this is going to be good for is we will be cutting these into just like 4 small pieces. And what we're going to do is once we have the calyx lined up exactly how we want it to be, we're going to be putting these 4 small pieces stuck to the bottom of the table, and that'll keep the tabletop from being able to shift around and move in case we bump into it, because sometimes I'm a little clumsy. So anyways, that being said, that'll help with that. So again, this table is good to go. Now we just have 4 other tables to deal with. This one in the center here is going to be totally fine. We're not going to mess with that one because really we can adjust it however we want based upon how we have these set up. And yes, we did take the modulars off of the ground and piled them right here because we just, did some cleaning. We swept and did all of that stuff, or vacuum, I guess I should say, and did all of that good stuff just to kind of keep things clean. So, okay, enough yapping. Let's get this table over here started on. All right, table number 2 is done. And what I did is I left a little bit of leeway for there to be some movement, because once you start adding weight to these tables, they are going to eventually end up coming down. Now we can tell that the carpet is providing a lot of pushback when it comes to straightening the tables, but they're coming out way better than they were before. So this one is almost in center, but the moment that I put any kind of weight on the legs, you can tell that it centers itself out. So that's going to be the distance between the carpet, the little spongy part that's on the bottom of the leg, and so on and so forth. So this will all even out once we get some weight on top of the tables. Now the other thing that I was talking about earlier is using those same, the sticky side of those spacers to then go ahead and line all of these calyxes up with the tabletop, and then this keeps them from moving. So I got basically a section on each individual corner that'll keep this from moving, and then we used 2 larger ones right here in the center to then keep the table from shifting a little bit. Now it's not going to be as good as maybe putting screws into this thing, but we really don't want to do that because we all know that IKEA, they do make some quality products, but once you start screwing into these tabletops multiple times, they're going to lose their rigidity, and we just don't want to do that. We're trying to do everything we can without physically changing the tables in their way. So anyways, that being said, that's all lined up. Now the same thing is with this side here, is all lined up as well, so there's going to be no movement. So now got to work on the third table. Every tabletop has been leveled and secured and came out really good, except for that one over there. 100%. The ground is higher, or I'm guessing I should say the cushion and the carpet is higher on that side, and that table is impossible to level. It is much higher than all of the rest of these tables. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not sure if the camera can really pick this up. I'm gonna see if I can scope in and post so you can see kind of the difference. But over here, everything is leveled. The tables meet exactly where they're supposed to go. But when you come down here, there is a difference in height. Okay, so what is this going to cause? Well, if the base plates cross each other, then that's going to create this weirdness, which will then kind of just chain on all the way to the end of the table. Now, if you do put weight on that side, it does flatten out to the point where it lines up perfectly with this table. I don't know what we're going to put here. Maybe we invest into actually getting some just basic weights, and then we can throw them in there and level it out a little bit better. But I will take that. It's okay. It's just one table. We'll figure something out. We'll figure a way around it so that we can get it to be a little more level and where it needs to be, so it doesn't cause any issues while building the city. But all the rest of the tables are good to go. So what does that mean? We're getting our modulars out of those boxes and we're going to set them up so we can see. Obviously, we don't have placement yet. We're going to look at placement. We're going to start looking because this is much different from what we had before. So we are going to have to do something with placement. But at least that gives us, or at least this gives us, a better idea of what this city is going to look like once we really get into full steam and start building. So let's get those modulars out of the boxes. All right, well, things are set up. So it's time to show you exactly what it looks like. And here we go. So, center of downtown. Then we obviously have this flanking to the left. And then over here, flanking to the right of downtown. Now, when it comes to the placement of the modulars, this is not the way that it's going to stay. Don't look too much into where anything is at because, well, this is not going to be the placement. There's a lot of different things that we're going to have to take into consideration before we fully commit to putting really anything in any individual spot. Now, the one thing that is going to stay the same is going to be the core. We really did like all the time and parts that we invested into the core. So we are going to be keeping that similar to the way that it is, but not exactly the same. And there's a couple of different reasons why. So here is the reasoning. Number one, we're going to be mills plating the garage, which means we're going to be adding some height to the garage and the entrance. So obviously the entrance is going to have to change, as well as any base plates that are in front of it so that everything is the same level. So we're probably going to have to mills plate all of this in front, which is going to raise everything to bricks and a plate. And then that means we're going to have to change the wall and reduce it by 2 bricks. And then the plate part should be okay because of the math that we did before when we built the retaining walls. The stairs are going to have to change. We're going to have to mills plate that. Same exact thing. Remove 2 tiers, which will shorten it a little bit, but plus the mills plating will bring it right back up. So those things are pretty much going to stay the same. We are going to detail these walls a whole lot more. It does just look like brick. So we'll be adding, all a bunch of details and flowering and just all that good stuff to the front of here. Okay, now the way that it was before, we actually had 6 modulars here and then 6 modulars here at the corner areas. Well, now that's not going to be possible. It's not enough room. So we are going to have to refigure what we were going to be putting in front of City Square. and kind of just come up with some different ideas of what to do. Now, the table that's going to be in front of here, that's going to be at this height. Not going to talk about that yet, but it is going to be incorporated into City Square. So that's going to be some information for a later detail because we need to figure out if first we can actually do it. Now, when we come over to this side over here, this can only really be seen from one direction. And I'm not talking about the band. So, that being said, we really only have to focus on one specific view. So, maybe we can two-tier this area or just do something a little bit different when it comes to over here. Let me get a little closer because the camera's having a problem with the windows being so bright and the modulars look really dark. So yeah, we're going to have to figure something out here because again, can only be viewed in one area, which is great because that kind of opens up a lot of options. But if we shift over to the right-hand side, that is a completely different barrel of snakes. So this can be seen from all sides. So that being said, we're going to have to figure out how to accommodate that. In any given view, you will be having a decent view of the city, and it's not just going to be open studs or whatever the case is. We have ideas already, but putting those ideas together, implementing them is something completely different. But yes, we're going to have to worry about this really being seen from all sides. Um, the city center, it's only really kind of visible from one side, to be honest with you. So, you know, uh, we're not going to worry too much about the back end because the back end is just, you're not really going to look at that unless you go look at the garage or the Ninja Turtle layer or the other secret thing we're building. Um, you're really not going to have to worry too much about that. So, like I said before, don't worry about the placement right now. They are just there to be on top of the tables and not kind of, just sitting in boxes. All right. Now, there does look like there's a ton of space, but that's actually not true. Actually, I'm going to go over here from this angle because the lights are going to adjust the camera and the camera is going to get really dark. All right. So, there are still some modulars that we need to build. There is a modular coming out at the end of this year. There is Bricklink stuff that we need to build. And then obviously all of the other mock stuff that we want to put into the city. So yeah, the tables look a little bare right now, but they are not going to look like that in the next couple of months once we start fully building. We also have parts coming in. Unfortunately, some of those parts aren't best sellers, so we're going to have to wait whatever the time frame is. Sometimes it's a month, sometimes it's 3. So we'll see whenever that stuff actually makes it in. But yeah, this is such a huge step. It's a massive step. Okay, now here's another thing. Just go ahead and keep recording this. We have plenty of space here in front that we can move around. And if we shift the camera over here, also plenty of space as well on this side. Got to really clean up this area over here. And then if we shift to the back, same exact thing, plenty of walk space here. And then as we walk through here, we have plenty of walk space here. So everything can be manipulated from all the way around. We wanted to make sure that we had access to everything, that we weren't having to really stretch Armstrong anything out or do anything like that because you want to be comfortable while you're building. You don't want to have any kind of back problems or any of that good stuff. But yeah, we're excited to have the city up and running now. And oh man, there's just so many ideas that are pondering, so many ideas that we are thinking about. So if you enjoyed the video, do us a favor and go down there and hit it with a like. If you want to see more content like this, how this Lego city is going to unfold, our August haul that's going to be coming right around the corner. Do yourself a favor and subscribe to the channel if we have earned it. Let me know in the comment sections below, what do you think about this plan? Remember, this table is not going to stay here. It's going to be shifted over there right underneath city center. So watch out for that. That we have a really cool plan for this. But what do you think about the overall, the U shape that we currently have? Uh, Tons of space to build, way more space than we had before. So yeah, let me know in the comment sections below what you think about the current state of our city now that we have them out of boxes and on top of the tables. As always, while you're out there hunting for Lego, looking for that perfect set for you, be safe out there, and we will see you in the next one. Well, let's get this right. Bye. Later.